You're listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
This episode of Oh Behave is brought to you by the Trimline Veterinary Recovery Collar.
It's Oh Behave with Arden Moore, the show that teaches you how to have harmony in the household with your pets. Join Arden as she travels coast to coast to help millions better understand why cats and dogs do what they do. Get the latest scoop on famous faces, their perfectly pampered pets, and who's walking who in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails. Garner great pet tips and have a doggone fur-flying fun time. So get ready for the pause and applause as we unleash your Oh Behave host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome to the Oh Behave show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Hey, we've got quite a sketchy character on our show today, a guy who never simply draws a line at anything. He makes you laugh, he makes you think, he makes you cheer. That's right, it is with great honor that I introduce to you our very special guest today, famous humorist, illustrator, and cartoonist, Buck Jones. Hey, welcome to the show, Buck.
Thanks, Arden. Great to be here.
You know, I know Buck. I know his many, many talents, and those in the pet world recognize his work in dozens of books and countless magazines. Hey, he's even designed my business card logo. And he's going to give away a customized, one-of-a-kind pet cartoon artwork to a lucky listener later in the show. So find out how you can win and learn more about Buck Jones right after we take this commercial break. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a pause. 4 furry ones, actually. Sit and stay. Oh Behave will be right back.
Be sure to tune in when Pet Life Radio goes live from Global Pet Expo, the world's largest annual pet products trade show. March 25th through the 27th, you can catch all the new products coming out for our pets before they even hit store shelves. From the latest in all-natural and eco-friendly products to the most elegant in pet pampering and high-tech innovations from companies all over the globe. It's at Global Pet Expo. Nearly 800 companies will be displaying new and exciting products to make time with our pets even better. Tune in March 25th through the 27th for everything Global Pet Expo.
Introducing the Trimline Veterinary Recovery Collar, a must-have for all pets. Known as the soft blue collar, this comfortable recovery collar provides an effective barrier so dogs and cats can bounce back to health safely and quickly from injury, trauma, and surgery, such as spay or neutering. Dogs and cats of all ages can eat, drink, and play and keep their sutures and stitches at bay. Cats dig it too. The Trimline collar can even be inverted to not bother your finicky feline friends' whiskers. Great for all sizes, from kittens and chihuahuas to Great Danes. This soft, flexible, and lightweight blue collar is a great substitute for the hard plastic Elizabethan or e-collar. Learn more at trimlineinc.com or call 1-800-371-0216. That's trimlineinc.com. Plus, it's available at all distributors, so ask your veterinarian for the blue soft collar today.
This valuable information comes from your pet. There's nothing like a wagging tail or friendly paw to lift your mood. They're therapeutic and make us feel good. Studies show pets even reduce stress, prevent heart disease, lower blood pressure, and fight depression. So there you have it. Pets are a daily dose of good health and happiness. Pets add life. To learn more, visit petsaddlife.org.
Hello! I'm Deborah Wolf, and I'm inviting you to my animal party on Pet Life Radio. The dress code? Come as you are. Pajamas, a tux. You can even go naked like your pets. Unleash your party animal at my animal party. Guests you know from Animal Planet, TV, radio, the news, and bookstores will be joining me. And that's because after I won Best Pet Radio in America from the DWAA, I got my paw in the door and I met a lot of amazing people. And the best of the best are going to be coming to the party. They're coming to party with us. So join us at the animal party. Don't miss the party.
Every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. Oh Behave is back with more tail-wagging ways to achieve harmony in the household with your pets. Now, back to your fetching host, America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore.
Welcome back to the Oh Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. My guest today is the very creative illustrator and cartoonist and a longtime friend, Buck Jones. Home is Iowa for this corn-fed Midwesterner, but his talents are global. In the pet world, his works have appeared in Dog Fancy, Cat Fancy, Bowtie Press, and more. I mean, I'm in my office right now, and I'm looking at the cover of 5 of my dog books, and they all sport delightful images designed by the one and only Buck Jones. Buck, I am so delighted you landed on my show finally.
Arden, I'm so thrilled to be here, believe me.
I hope you're thrilled by the end of the show. I don't know,
I hope I am too.
We will probably need an entire show just to run down all your accomplishments. And I was sniffing around your couple of your websites, Ready? BuckJonesIllustrator.com and the PetCartoonGifts.com. And I got to tell you, Buck, I was both tickled and awed by some of your clients. I mean, you got the big boys. You got like Kodak and Sears and Eli Lilly and even the academicians like Duke University. But a couple of surprises. Bartender Magazine.
Yeah, well, you get to work where you can, Martin. You know how that goes.
Did you get paid in bourbon or what?
I should be so lucky. Actually, I was luckier. They did pay me in cash, so that's always better.
Well, my personal favorite, I mean, this is something that people should inspire to be able to do work for. Iowa Soybean Promotion Board. What the heck is that?
Hey, listen, hey, don't knock it. That was a good paying client. I say they were a good paying client. It's been a few years, but like I said, Iowa. We're all about agriculture out here and stuff. So so they needed a little educational bump in some of their stuff, and so we produced quite a bit of work for them. A number of years ago, just through educational newsletters and things of that sort that went into the schools, etc. So as funny as it sounds, they were a good fun client. And it if you can bring a soybean to life and make it fun, then you're having a good day, I guess.
Your parents should be so proud. I guess I should say something stupid like "cool beans."
No, you shouldn't. But
okay, I didn't. So, you never heard that, listeners. Never heard it. I was trying to remember how we even met. I mean, we both have done work for Dog and Cat Fancy and Bowtie Press.
I think it was on Match.com, wasn't it, Arden?
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
probably
sorry.
Matchwits.com. I think that's what it was.
That's right.
Yeah. But I you know what? We have never met each other in person. We've only done the voice thing.
Yeah, I know, isn't it weird? I mean, and I feel like if I was to see you in a room, I'd walk up to you just like we've known each other forever and ever and stuff. But you're right. It's all been all through. I think the initial the magazines, and then obviously the books, which were obviously a great joy. And I'm not just saying that because I'm talking to you on air here and stuff. But your books have always been just such fun books to illustrate because your subject matter is always so fun, and your personality comes through, out through it. And for an illustrator like myself, that always makes every job that much easier when you have that kind of personality, that kind of work you're working with.
Well, I was thinking back, one of my favorite things, we did the book Dog Parties, How to Party with Your Pup, and it was about 5 years ago, I guess, and I always try to be ahead of the curve, sometimes so far ahead of the curve on trends that it doesn't make any money, but that's another story. So I'm writing this book on dog parties before really the trend of dog parties erupts, and I was delighted to hear that the publisher teamed me up with you. And, we're going through the proofs on all the little illustrations that go with all the games and everything that's all part of having a successful dog party. And you created this image of this, little old lady sitting at a table with her dog, and they're going through the list of invites, and your classic line was, "Oh, no, not Blaze. He's a drooler."
Yeah. And you knew who Blaze was.
Yeah, we need to let the listeners know who's getting made fun of. Who is Blaze?
Blaze is my 10-and-a-half-year-old basset hound, who I absolutely love to death. And if she didn't smell so bad, she'd be in my office with me right now. But the good old basset smell. But Blaze is a frequent character in much of my work because, like I said, obviously well, obviously pretty parent that I love drawing animals and stuff, but she just, like anybody that has a dog, they have such personality, and of course Basset Hounds with their unique shape and everything just lend themselves so well to a comedic, kind of character and stuff. So yeah, so she appears, and I think that may have been her first mention in print ever and stuff. So
really. I had
so.
No idea. Every time I see that, and like I show that cartoon to people all the time when they're thinking about buying my book, I go, wait a minute, check out this.
Well, I'll pass that on to Blaze. She'll be flattered.
Yeah, she gets lots of doggy treats, I mean, what's her personality like?
Well, Arno, you'll love this. And I personally never claimed to be the brightest tool in the shed or whatever and stuff, but I like to think that I'm a pretty nice guy or whatever, and so we've always said that Blaze fits our family real well because she's super sweet but not the brightest thing on the earth. So that's kind of her personality. She couldn't be any sweeter and more loving, but like I said, her bulb only goes so bright too and stuff. So, but no, she's just great. Like I said, she's a sweetheart. She's upstairs now, laying on the bed where I let her lay on a certain bed so she can get up high enough to look out the window and watch the world go by. And she's the bravest dog in the world as long as she's inside looking out. But get outside and she's pretty wimpy and stuff. But no, she's a good one. She's a good one.
Well, I'm laughing because on your website, Buck Jones Illustrator, you describe yourself as a knucklehead.
A bit.
Yet, I mean, come on, man. If people nose around the site, they're going to be kind of blown away. You were nominated for Cartoonist of the Year by the National Cartoonist Society. That's not a little piece of kibble in the bowl, That's a pretty big...
Arden, I'm going to interrupt you. I want to say it was for a certain division of that. It was for book illustrations, and the reason that I bring that up is because I was nominated because it was, I think that year we're able to submit 6 pieces that we've done, and I submitted 6 of our pet books and that year. And so that I had done that particular year or whatever. And so that's why I was up for. I was up for them for pet-related illustrations that I had done that year. And unfortunately I didn't win, but it was a great honor to be nominated.
Well, you're always a winner or a wiener to me.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Now, here you are in the middle of cornland in Iowa, and everybody before you send me nasty calls. I grew up in Indiana, so back off, Midwesterners. Right. Where do you get inspired for your kind of twisted look at life in a very fun way? You're not mean, you're not evil, but you do make people laugh, and you do make people think. So, I mean, growing up, were you born with a pen in your hand and a little cartoon pad, or what was up with you, man? What's your background?
Well, listen, this is you'll appreciate this. No, absolutely. I was born and raised as an Air Force brat. My dad was in the Air Force for his career, and he was a very strict military man. And I like to preface this whole thing by saying when I was probably kindergarten age, and this is one of my favorite stories, and it sounds a little rude, but you'll appreciate it. When I was this young boy, my dad, even though he wasn't a cartoonist, he was a good artist, and like I said, he was an extremely strict man, very, very strict military man. But he drew these cartoons for me. Like I said, I'm probably kindergarten age, and one of these cartoons was this. Not to be rude, but it was a dog urinating on a fire hydrant. And I tell you this because as a 4 or 5-year-old, I thought this was the funniest thing I'd ever seen, especially coming from this really strict man. And so. So, needless to say, that has always been a staple of my cartooning thing throughout growing up, was drawing these dogs or whatever. And then years later, who knew I'd get paid to actually illustrate an entire book about dogs potty training your puppy or your dogs or whatever. So I always say now, my dad's been gone, unfortunately, for about 15, 16 years now, and I always wish he'd lived to see the day I could have said, Dad, see, it all paid off and stuff. But back to your original question, the humor comes from, I think, part of that military upbringing because he was such a strict man and ran this household like a military household that my brothers and I have 2 older brothers. We developed this sense of humor to help us get through a lot of that serious upbringing. And even though my dad was very funny, like I said, he was very strict, et cetera. But that humor kind of came from a survival kind of a mode, I guess you would say.
Now, do you still make your bed every day, Army style? I mean, Air Force style, or not?
Oh, well, I still make my bed every day. It's absolutely, it's not quite as tight. I'm not bouncing quarters off of it, but absolutely, I still, unfortunately, that was ingrained in me, and I pass it on to my kids, and so they curse me every day. But they're in their 20 and 17 now. But there's just certain things you can't change.
You're growing up in the strict Air Force household. So how did your career in cartooning and illustrating, pardon the pun, but it's just right there for me, take off?
Well, very good. No, actually, even though my dad was very, like I said, strict and et cetera, he saw my passion for for what I did, and like I said, growing up, cartooning was what I enjoyed. In high school is what I wanted, and then in college, it was really, like I said, it was kind of my passion. And he, to his credit, and my mom, never discouraged it. Had great faith in me, and really, when the day came when I said, I really think I want to try this full time as a freelancer, and I was all of 24 years old. He didn't discourage me, or they didn't discourage me at all. They were behind me 100%, and said, give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, you're young enough to go back. Well, here I am 25 years later, just about, and still doing it and stuff. So, but no, yeah, it took off. Like I said, I probably 2 years out of college, I had worked as an illustrator for a sticker company, and that fad industry started to go down the tube, so to speak. And I'd just gotten married the year before, and my wife was behind me. She said, give it a shot now. And so, like I said, here we are 25 years later.
Now, your wife, Kim, I love this. You guys are really sweethearts, and she and you make such a great team. So let's give a shout out to Kim.
Well, yeah, I'll shout at her. She's upstairs. She works out of the home too, so I shout at her all the time.
Shout out or shout at her?
I shout at her all the time. Well, because she's upstairs and I'm downstairs, and we don't have an intercom system, so I'm always yelling up there. But no, yeah, Kim's absolutely, I love my life. She has her own graphic design business. It's called Kim Buck 2, which worked out great because we have Kim, we have Buck, and we have 2 kids and stuff. But yeah, isn't that sad? But no, yeah. So she's been like I said, an art director, graphic designer for years, but has had her own business. I guess now I want to say, gosh, it's probably 1993 or whatever. So yeah, we are 2 freelancers. We're probably not the brightest people in the world, but like I said, we've been pretty blessed to do what we do, I guess. Now,
she has a passion that I have, and that is softball. I mean, I played for 32 years, and I'm only 33, listeners.
Yeah.
But my favorite coach was actually named Bubba. But in the world of softball, you wouldn't want to be a batter in the box facing your wife, Kim, the pitcher, would you?
Back in the day, I guess you wouldn't. Yeah, Kim, she's not one. She's so modest. You could talk to her for months and months. You'd never know her background. But she holds the longest win streak record as a pitcher for the state of Iowa. Her team won 68 in a row, and they won 2 back-to-back state titles when she was in high school. And then she ended up pitching out at Arizona State back in the late 70s, early 80s, and then unfortunately had a career-ending injury. But now she just recently, about 2 weeks ago, was hired as the softball head softball coach for her alma mater high school here in Urbandale, Iowa.
Wow. Life comes full circle, or she rounded the base.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're pretty excited. You know how it is with the new coach. You get a lot of work ahead of herself, but very excited about it, absolutely.
Oh, this is great. Hey, we're listening and talking with Buck Jones. He is an amazing illustrator and cartoonist. And as we promised, after we take a break, we're going to let you know how you can win your own one-of-a-kind pet cartoon artwork by the one and only Buck Jones. So sit and stay. We'll be right back.
Time for a walk on the red carpet, of course. Oh, Behave will be back in a flash right after these messages.
It's time for school for you and your friends, your furry best friends. Train your dog the fun and easy way with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Teacher's Pet host Pia Silvani teaches you step-by-step how to train your dog the fun and easy way. You get 8 30-minute live audio training sessions, complete transcripts of each session, plus a basic training manual to get you and your dog off to a great start. Training begins the moment you bring your dog home. Teacher's Pet Sessions offers positive reinforcement training to shape your dog's behavior and encourages upbeat, enthusiastic responses to ensure that your dog will enjoy learning. Teacher's Pet Sessions dog training is fun at both ends of the leash. So listen, learn, and laugh with your dog with Teacher's Pet Sessions. Get your copy of Teacher's Pet Sessions Volume 1 today. To order, go to teacherspetsessions.com.
Hi, this is Pia Silvani, your host. Bring your dog, tug toy, and treats, and get ready to have some fun.
teacherspetsessions.com.
How many pets is too many? Do you know somebody whose life is overwhelmed by their animals? Maybe we can help. We're looking for people to be in a new TV series about really large animal families. We can offer expert help, free resources, and the chance to tell their story. If you or someone you know owns a house full of animals, call us toll-free at 1-877-MY-8-PETS. That's 1-877-MY-8-PETS.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pet Life Radio proudly presents DSPN, the Dog Sports and Performance Network. Get ready to unleash the dog sports enthusiast in all of us. From speed drawing and mushing to racing, agility, and competition. This is the place to learn all about the dog sports and activities that you can do with your furry best friend and canine competitor. So get ready for game time. DSPN with your host, Lori Williams. Every week, on demand. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Hi, this is Amy Schumer. You're listening to Arden Moore on Pet Life Radio, where they keep it real and make everyone feel like they're pets.
We're back from the lot. Just checked the paper and we had a record showing at the box. The letterbox, that is. Now back to Oh Behave. Here's Arden.
Welcome back to the O Behave Show on Pet Life Radio. I'm your host, Arden Moore. Buck Jones is in the house. He's the cartoonist who makes you smile, makes you think. And let's get right to it, Buck. We're going to give away one of your new ventures is creating these one-of-a-kind pet cartoon artworks. There's the website everybody's going to dash out to after the show. It's called petcartoongifts.com. And we will be giving away one lucky listener who emails Arden at ardenmore.com will win a Buck Jones original. And we're also going to be talking about it because we're profiling you, Buck, in my Arden Moore Knows Pets e-newsletter for March. So you can win either way on the airways or through the newsletter. But I guess let's use the code word Blaze in honor of your Basset Hound. What do you think?
Wonderful. That's fantastic.
I can remember that. That'll be easy. So let's talk a little bit about this. What the heck is this that you're offering?
Well, I tell you what, I really appreciate this, Arden. Yeah, petcartoongifts.com was launched late last fall, I guess, or probably early November. And what we do, and actually I said the website itself is very simplistic to make it easy for everybody and very self-explanatory. But basically, in general, what I'm offering through this gift is how it works anyway, I should say, is that I offer people, whether you're pet lovers or you know a pet lover, to do a cartoon of your pet. And it could be of your pet and somebody in your family or a number of people, that kind of thing. But I like people to understand that they're not getting a caricature per se like you might get in an amusement park, where it's exaggerated. You're getting a cartoon done in Buck Jones style. And I don't know quite else how to explain that other than the characters will look like my googly-eyed characters, and I just try and bring personality to the cartoon. I ask people to give me a background on the pet, just like you and I were talking about earlier. I said, tell me about your pet's personality, maybe a story that you want me to illustrate, that kind of thing. Actually, we're here for an example. One I just recently did, and this might help. I had a gal from down in Kansas actually sent me one, and her dog's name is Riley, but her nickname for her dog is Riley the Warrior Princess, and she says this is the most lovable dog. She said, but, and this is what I thought was so funny, she said, this wonderful, loving dog has this one obsession. She loves to lay at the bottom of a tree, and she said, will lay there like a statue all day until a squirrel comes down. And she said, this dog has killed more squirrels through this process. And she asked me to do this, so I had to do this whole cartoon in a manner that was tasteful without showing this dog ripping apart squirrels or whatever. And
so what'd you do?
I tell you what, when I get off the air, Arden, I'll email you how that end result or whatever. But so I take that situation and I put it in an 8x10 illustration, and what I do is I sketch it out. I send that sketch to the person that's the customer, so to speak. Let them look at it before I go to final art, and then I go and I ink it, and then I color it in Photoshop. We print out a nice 8.5 page for the frame, and deliver that, so they get the original ink sketch. They get the color printout. Like I said, I've had people give them as anniversary gifts, birthday gifts, I've had people buy them just for themselves. And one interesting thing, Arden, is that I've had quite a few, and I've been really surprised is quite a few people have ordered them as sort of, what would you say, memorials type people. Dogs that passed away 10 and 15 years ago. I had a lady before Christmas, which I thought was real sweet for her husband. Their dog had passed away 10 years ago, but she said that dog was so special to her husband that she wanted this cartoon, and it was quite funny because it was how the dog used to ride around with the husband in his pickup truck, and she said they were real sneaky. They'd sneak into town, and the husband would buy them both a bunch of donuts. He goes, and the two of them would drive around town eating their donuts so nobody knew about it until she'd get back and see all the crumbs in the car. So instead of drawing the dog, laying on the front seat, I've got the dog actually strapped in, sitting up, and waving his Chicago Cubs banner because they were both Chicago Cubs fans and that kind of thing, and having the two of them there eating their donuts. So I just go for a real personal touch to these things, but again, like I said, just trying to do it in a humorous fashion, and just the whole thing's making it, just very personal to the client.
Those are the kind of pets we all know as our heart dogs or our heart cats that they will never leave us. I mean, there seems to be that magical dog or cat that is in our life and stays in our hearts later. And I'm just laughing because the poor dog's waving a Cubs pennant, and I grew up in the Chicago area, and I'm laughing because the Cubs, we do so well June and July, and something happens, the corn grows, and all of a sudden so do the losses. So it's kind of sad. But I love the Cubs and the Bears and all that. There's a lot of pressure, don't you think, to be funny? I got to tell people, you got to go to your blog. This is no ordinary blog, folks. It's very imaginative. It's buckyj.blogspot.com. And you make fun of a lot of things in life. And one of my favorite was the one you did on February 23rd, today's social networking gag cartoon.
Oh, you enjoyed that one, did you?
Yeah, it's a big buxom woman who just wallops a guy at a bar, and the poor guy is on the ground with a black eye, and he's saying, no, I said I like your tweets. Where do you come up? Are you like in the bathroom somewhere and a moment of inspiration? Are you walking? Where the heck do you get these things out of your...
That's none of your business. No, I'm just
kidding. So, I mean, it was great because social networking, you can get really consumed in it, don't you think?
Oh, well, absolutely. And actually, I'll be quite honest with that. That cartoon was a result of a very recent gig that I was hired on to do with an ad agency because, like you said, social networking is all the rage these days. And although I'll admit up front, I am way behind the curve on all that. I'm trying to catch up. But this agency hired me to do one gag cartoon a week that will appear on their blog that is specifically geared towards social networking. And so that was one of the first ones that they ran that I just shared on my own personal blog, et cetera and stuff. But as far as where I get my ideas, it's just like, I think like anybody, like a stand-up comedian like you, or where, if that's the things going on around you. And, like I said, and how my mind works. There's a certain level of, I don't want to say, naughtiness, but juvenile kind of bathroom humor. And the whole tweets and the way I took it, just kind of seemed like a natural transition that way. And again, like I said, I'm not trying to be offensive or naughty or whatever, but it was just trying to do it in a fun, humorous fashion. And yeah, that cartoon has gotten some good response, and I appreciate you bringing it up. But as for that blog, the website or blog site that you just mentioned, that one is strictly for my own entertainment. So the stuff that I put on there, it won't be stuff that you'll find on my advertising. That's really stuff that I put out there that tickles me, and sometimes it's stuff about my own personal life. It might even just be photographs from things here in my home. Oftentimes it will be stuff about Blaze and stuff. But like I said again, most times it's things that haven't been published. Just stuff that I just personally enjoy and that I just put out there for anybody else that wants to check in on it and stuff. Well, I appreciate you mentioning that.
So you draw the two-leggers and the four-leggers. I got to ask you, the world of pets, it sounds like, don't you think our dogs and cats have a bit of wicked sense of humor themselves?
Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, oh my gosh. I think that's what makes them so special is that I don't want to offend them, but they're so human. I mean, like I said, well, you and I have been talking about the whole fact that, their personalities. Well, that's the thing. I mean, they have personalities, at least to me. I mean, that's what just fascinates me about them. I mean, like I said, I don't think, how can you meet a dog or cat and they don't have their own unique personality? I mean, they're just like humans and no two are the same. Like I said, you've got a house that might have 2 or 3 dogs, and each one of those dogs, or those cats, I should say, their personality. Well, actually, we were just house sitting a home of 3 cats here just earlier this week, and 2 of the cats just as friendly as they can be. Lewis, the third cat, sweet, but boy, it takes him 3 days till he'll come out of the closet to say hi to you, whereas the other 2 are on you the moment you step in the door, and yet all 3 have been raised in the same household. So yeah, I like the animals in that regard. I mean, personalities are the key, and that's what I love about them.
Now, are you right-handed or left-handed?
I am right-handed. Absolutely.
Okay, but you're hitting on all cylinders on both sides of your brains, but I'm just, your hand is a big deal. You got to shake that hand that you do the drawings for and all that. Do you ever take special care of your hand so you don't, like, sprain it or something?
Just being careful like anybody. Like I said, I do, take the precautions. Unfortunately, I'm getting to the age where I'm not out playing sports as much as I, might have been at one time, so I don't have to worry so much about the jams that you might have gotten playing basketball and those kind of things and stuff. But, yeah, like I said, my biggest concern at this point in my life, like I said, I'm almost 49 years old, is the onset of arthritis, but hopefully that won't be an issue and stuff. But, otherwise, no, yeah, just being smart about it, I guess.
Did you ever break or sprain your hand?
Yeah, I had, I've had carpal tunnel over the years. I'm back in the late 80s when I was just cranking out children's books just at an outrageous pace for a particular client. And it was just so hard on my hands that I did start to develop carpal tunnel back then, and we had to find a way to back off to some degree, just because, like I said, just the workload was just causing that and stuff. But but as far as a break, nothing serious, other than your occasional sprains and that kind of thing. But nothing that's taken me out of off the drawing table for more than a couple of days. Knock on wood.
The other thing that impresses me is the reinvention you do. Because as we both know, in the world of media, things have changed. I mean, years ago, I was a newspaper reporter and editor, and I thought I would live and breathe it, and that would be on my epitaph that, Arden Moore had a great byline. But, if I stayed in newspapers right now, I would probably be in the unemployment line, writing about being in the unemployment line to a place that isn't being published. And so I've had to reinvent myself. It sounds like, there's a lot of reinventions, and I think you have a great spirit because you do it quite well. But do you ever realize it's never boring being a freelancer or someone with a unique talent like you have?
Well, Arden, you're preaching to the choir, exactly. And as I always say, being a humorist illustrator, I love it. The retirement package kind of sucks, but but no, you're exactly right. And I mean, and you and I know this, better than most when being self-employed. I mean, like I said, I have gone through, like I said, the period of 25 years of freelancing, where books might have made up a majority of my income one year. The next year, it might have been magazines. Well, these last couple of years, there's no secret that the publishing industry has cut back in both those areas. And so then, like you said, part of the reinvention thing is out of necessity. I mean, the clients that had to pull back, in those 2 areas, it's hard to make up. And like I said, this, as much as I love, this pet cartoon thing, which I absolutely love, it's so fun. But part of it is one of those things, I was kind of forced into it. I've got to find, other ways to get myself out there. And so that's kind of out of necessity, these things are created. And I should have been doing this years ago, because like I said, I'm not, BS and you hear anything like that. I absolutely do. I love these pet card things because, again, they're so personal. And again, I'm getting creative in my style, which is something that I'm just loving and stuff. But again, like I said, as you said, next year I'll be trying to find another area, and like you just said, that the social networking cartoons.
I think those are great. And when you are a freelancer or you're self-employed or you have your own company, we do sort of walk tiptoe without a net, but it's also a great view of life because you're up there. You're not sitting in the trenches.
Absolutely, and and the other thing, and both Kim and I, my wife and I, have said, it's just like with her taking on this softball position, and and me trying to freelance thing. I'm proud to say that I'll be able to look back and say, at least I tried. I pursued my passion, and and hopefully I don't end up living in a cardboard box. But but like I said, I gave it a shot, and like I said, I'm very fortunate, and I feel blessed every day to get up and come down to my office and do what I love to do.
Well, if you're in a cardboard box, you got plenty of wall space to draw some more cartoons.
I was to say, if I can just find a Sharpie or a piece of charcoal, I'm in business.
And I just want to make sure everybody, remember, you've got to be the first person to email Arden at ardenmoore.com with the secret code word BLAZE in honor of Buck Jones's Basset Hound, and you will receive a personalized, one-of-a-kind artwork from Buck Jones. It's a pet cartoon. You got to go to petcartoongifts.com to be able to learn what it's all about. And I'm laughing because just as I did that, my big 60-pound dog, Chipper, on cue, decides to drink really heartily out of the water bowl during my talking of that. Chipper, we're talking to Buck. What are you doing? She goes, I was thirsty. She's thirsty to win. She wants to win the petcartoongifts.com. She says, I got really big ears. I mean, so everybody, seriously, it's kind of fun. Are there certain dogs or cats that are more challenging for you to be able to draw?
No, actually, I mean, like I said, there's just, like I was talking about, each one, it brings their own characteristics to the illustration. What I'm finding the hardest right now, and this is very funny, is I get quite a few orders for illustrations of labs, yellow labs, black labs. Yellow labs, not a problem. Black labs, trying to get that through in color because, I can't really draw them in solid black and have certain characteristics show up and stuff. So that's been a little bit of a challenge trying to figure out how to color them so that it still looks like a black lab, but yet getting all their features in there and stuff. No, I think, honestly, I guess to answer your question, I wouldn't say there's any one more challenging than the other, but part of the fun is the variety. I mean, I'm doing Shih Tzus one day. Again, like I said, I'm doing,
Say that very slowly. What did you say you do?
Yeah, well, never mind. I knew it was a big conversation. But then I'm doing chows the next day. Then I'm doing, Persian cats the next day, and I've had a bird order here and there, a snake order if you can, and I guess that's the other thing. Like I said, I want people to understand this is not strictly cats and dogs. This is any pet and stuff. And I have had a few of those interesting ones. Like I said, the snake kind of thing. That's different than usual. And those are the fun ones. I mean, like I said, well, they're all fun, but just something a little bit different challenge stuff. And so if people that have gators or whatever it might be, lizards, that kind of thing, I'll do it all. Stuff. That's why I want people to know. And we do, like I said, we do special orders. We have a place on the website that if you have a request that's a little off the beaten path of what we offer, like 3 or 4 different packages, and if what you want is not on one of those, you just send us an email of what you're thinking of. We'll shoot you back an individual quote for that illustration, because we have had a few where somebody might write and say, I really like this concept, but I really don't even have a pet. I'd like to just do one of of my something funny that happened to my wife. So we do have some of those that are not even pet related, although I like to stress the pet thing. But so I guess what I'm saying is, the special orders are there. So, if you get on the website and you don't see what you were hoping for, just shoot us an email. We'll always get back to you. And so far, we've been real tickled at the response that we've gotten back from people as far as our customer service has been real nice. And when I say we, I'm talking about Kim and I. My wife, Kim, does help me with all this because obviously, me trying to manage the artwork alone and do all the other things that go with it would be a little overwhelming. So that sweetheart's helped me out with the other end of things.
Well, that sounds great. I am just really delighted that you have been a guest on our show, Buck Jones, and everybody dash over to buckjonesillustrator.com and also petcartoongifts.com, and you'll get to learn a little bit more about this guy and his many, many talents. I hope you don't mind that I called you a sketchy character at the beginning of the show. I've always been wanting to work that in somewhere in an intro, and this was a natural.
If anybody was going to do it, Arden, it was going to be you. So that's great. That's great. Hey, and I also want to mention on our petcartoongifts.com site, we do have a blog on there, which we try and update as regularly as possible, if not every day, every other day. And we just try and put up, sometimes it'll be samples of illustrations we've done. Other times it'll just be, something pet related, but it's usually almost always a cartoon, something related, and just something fun for people to view, while they're visiting the site.
Yeah, you kind of give us our laugh of the day, if you will. And I got to tell you, there was another one about, I can't remember, they were naked. Why were they naked at the bar? These very, not very flattering people.
Oh, that was Casual Friday. They took it a little too far. Yeah.
All righty. Well, I don't need a cup of coffee when Buck Jones is in the house. I am so glad you've been a guest on our show. I also want to thank Mark Winter, my producer. He makes this show happen each and every week. So all of you remember, give me the code word BLAZE and dash an email to arden@ardenmore.com. The first one to do so will get a personalized pet cartoon for you and your pet designed by the one and only Buck Jones. You will learn more about him. I'm profiling him in my March newsletter, Arden Moore Knows Pets. So you're going to get more of Buck than you ever imagined. I'm so glad you've been on the show. And everybody, I want you to tune in to the entire Pet Life Radio Network. Your assignment is to tune into each and every show and report back to me, because I got to tell you, we've got some great hosts on our network. It is the #1 pet podcast on the planet. What do you think of that, Buck?
That is so impressive.
That's a lot of tea.
I can't thank you enough for letting me be a part of it.
All right. So until next time, listeners, this is your flea-free host, Arden Moore, delivering just 2 words to all you 2, 3, and 4-leggers out there. Oh, behave.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's Oh Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com.